Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem. Jane, I'm standing here with my fan blowing. It's a very hot day in Israel. I want to make a current news updates, and I'm going to start by giving you some breaking news because a massive disaster was prevented yesterday, last night. A massive casualties was prevented. An Arab terrorist came illegally into Israel, and he was carrying a bomb in his backpack, and he was walking freely in the streets of Tel Aviv. His bomb, by whatever reason, detonated before time, and he was blown to pieces literally in the streets of Tel Aviv, and a man who came by was lightly injured. The police are out now saying that this was indeed a terror attack, a major terror attack that was prevented. This terrorist wanted to commit either a suicide bombings or leaving this bomb in a backpack near a synagogue, in a shopping center. We don't know yet, but for whatever reason, that bomb went on ahead of time, and the only casualty was this vile terrorist. Your prayers matter. Your prayers for Israel matters. I know that in Denmark there's a prayer group that has been existing for many years for Israel in my local home church. My mother has been the leader for that prayer group. They come together and they pray for Israel every month. Some of the things they are praying for is, let the plans of the enemy fail. Let the plans of the enemy fails. And saying, when they're praying, and I'm praying, saying, God, you see the enemies of Israel, you see where they are, you see what they are plotting, you see the evil terror attacks they are plotting, let them fail. And that is exactly what happened last night. It could have been a mass casualty, it could have been a massacre if this terrorist had succeeded in going into a synagogue, into a soccer stadium, whatever his intended target was. So this is breaking news. So please continue to pray for Israel, to pray for safety for the Jewish people at a time where everything is on high alert. Today is a special day. Today is the Hebrew day of what is the same as Valentine's Day. It's a little bit different here in Israel, but it's still where you celebrate the people that you love. Well, there are three ladies who doesn't have their beloved, who doesn't have their husband, who doesn't have the father of their children. Yesterday we had another heinous terror attack here in Israel. I want to show you his photo. He was only 38 years old. This is Gideon Perry. This is Gideon Perry. He was a security guy working at the industrial park near Kedumin out in Judea and Samaria. And an Arab Palestinian terrorist managed to have a big hammer, and he ran up and he attacked Gideon, and he literally crushed in his head with this hammer. He stole his gun and he managed to flee the scene. And this was a father of 3 small children, married, and they now have to go on the Hebrew Valentine's Day and bury their beloved, murdered for no other reason than just being Jewish, in another heinous terror attack. I wonder if you even heard that in your mainstream media. Jewish father of 3 children crushed his head, crushed with a hammer by a Palestinian Arab terrorist. Did it make it into your mainstream media? I also want to say that a couple of days ago, soldiers were going in with equipment, with provisions to the soldiers who is currently in the Gaza Strip. There was a roadside bomb exploding, and 2 brave soldiers was killed by that roadside bomb in Israel. This is Mordecai Yosef ben Shoam. He was 34 years old. and he was killed. His wife had the funeral with their 9-month-old baby. He was killed inside the Gaza Strip in that accident. And another one, and the other soldier who was killed was Jonathan Itzhak Pellet. I want to show you his photo, also with a family. So that's 2 soldiers killed by a roadside bomb in Gaza, leaving behind children, wives with families, and the other gentleman, Gideon, who was brutally murdered in a terror attack only yesterday, murdered for no other reason than being Jewish. So we are still on high alert here in Israel. We are still being attacked every day. Every day Hezbollah is firing rockets and sending drones into Israel. It also happened this morning. I was awake most of the night, praying for Israel in this very, very tense season that we are living in. We are still waiting. Hezbollah, Iran, are they going to come with that big attack that they have been rambling about for weeks now? The Israeli military is still on high alert, but every day Hezbollah is firing rockets or drones into Israel. So I had only just fallen asleep, and then I wake up because I have the red alerts buzzing and my phone is literally just blowing up. And they were sending in drones. Hezbollah was sending in drones this morning, and several people, 5 people, were injured by the impact of these drones in the northern part of Israel, and 1 person is severely injured. So that happened only this morning. So like I said, every day we have rocket attacks or drone attacks coming from Hezbollah. They have been doing that every day since October 8th. We still have rockets coming in from Gaza, fired from evil Hamas-ISIS or Palestinian Islamic Jihad, who is still inside Gaza. So thumbs up to all of our brave soldiers in the air, on the ground, to the sea, who is still fighting all of these evil, demonic terror groups, terror regimes, who has one goal, and that is the eradication of the Jewish state, of the Jewish people. That's why they are calling from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, because they don't want a 2-state solution. They want all of Israel turned into a Palestinian state, something that never existed in the history. This has always been the Jewish homeland. So the Jewish people can't occupy something that they own. They can't occupy something that never existed. Anthony Blinken arrived in Israel last night. This is his 9th visit to the Holy Land since we were attacked, gruesomely attacked on October 7. Early this morning he had a meeting with the Israeli president, and at 11 a.m. very soon now he's going to be meeting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and they're saying this is like the last options of bringing the hostages back home. We want these hostages home. We can't imagine the torture, the rapes, what they have gone through now for more than 10 months. But of course Hamas, the genocidal terror regime who is in control of Gaza, has no intention of releasing them because they are their shields, they are their cover. So we will see what happens. I am just encouraging the Israeli government and the Jewish people to be strong. This is your country, this is your God-given country. And this morning, people were injured in the north, Hezbollah firing rockets. Yesterday, a young Jewish father, 38 years old, was brutally murdered in a terror attack when his head was crushed with a hammer by a Palestinian Arab terrorist. 2 soldiers were just killed in Gaza by a roadside bomb planted by Hamas-ISIS. And the same vile terrorist who planted that roadside bomb was actually firing at our troops also. The terrorist who murdered Gideon yesterday is still at large. He managed to steal Gideon's weapon when he was lying with his head cracked open from the injuries from this hammer. He stole a car and he fled. But don't worry, the Israeli security services will catch this vile terrorist and he will get what is coming. So for such a time as this, please continue to pray for Israel. Still on high alert. You can definitely feel the tension here in Israel and the trauma from all of these terror attacks, even before October 7. Then came October 7. People are like, I can see other people are saying, but we don't know what to do. Can we plan a vacation? Can we plan to do this? Can we plan to do this? Because we don't know what's going to happen. But the Jewish people are the most strong and resilient people that I have ever met. I mean, what they have to endure of terrorism, of fires that are blazing in the north from the impacts from the drones and the rockets. Many thousands of acres of land has been burned down, both down in the Gaza Strip, in the area, the Jewish communities down there, but also in the north from rocket impact, and it just keeps happening. And you don't hear about all of that in mainstream media. So I want to end this video by just encourage you, please continue to pray for Israel for such a time as this. Pray for Israel, pray for our military, pray that the plots that the enemies are scheming will fail, they will turn against each other. We're praying for division amongst all of these enemies of Israel, that suicide bombers, it will blow up and go off ahead of time, only injuring or killing the vile terrorists. So thank you for praying for Israel. It really makes a difference. For those of people who is writing to me saying, Jane, how are you? Did you find a new home? No, I didn't. I still need to find a fully furnished apartment to pack up and move for September 30. Any leads, please send me an email. This is not just about me finding a new home. This is about me moving forward. Also, after being working and living alone for 10 years, literally just standing here with one phone, I could do so much more with the right equipment, with a co-worker, being safe and secure in a home, go out and interview people. So there's so much more that I would like to do, that I feel, you know, the passion in my sight, inside of me, in my heart, that God has put in me. But a lot of new things needs to happen for me moving forward. But the first thing is to find a safe and secure home, and I believe God has chosen it. I believe there's a great landlord or owner out there that God is speaking to. Be a blessing to Jerusalem. Jane needs a home after 10 years where she can live and work and be that voice for Israel that so many people are counting on. Thank you for praying for me into this situation, especially praying for Israel and the Israeli military. Bye.